What's something that people think makes them look cool, but actually has the opposite effect? Posting photos of cash on social media. I always think it is funny how doing that is commonly accepted, whereas if you screenshotted your bank account or net worth you'd be imps. Rich people don't flex money. A girl I went to uni with went shopping for all these branded stuff and posted a photo of herself with all the bags, making sure that we can see the brands. Her friend said that it was tacky and she got alienated for that. It really was tacky. I was trying to explain to someone why I gave up coffee. I was addicted and I had started to suffer from insomnia. If I went too long, maybe like an hour or two without one, I would begin to shake and migraines would set in. Basically just normal effects of overdoing caffeine. She asked me how many I was having and basically tried to turn it into this competition of, oh, I drink more coffee than you. OMG, I'm so quirky and sleep deprived, haha. Stop turning bad habits and other people's issues into a competition of how badly you treat your body. It doesn't make you cool. Edit. Thank you for gold. I work in a coffee shop, so many customers love to weirdly brag about how much coffee they drink in a day and how badly they need caffeine to function. Haha, yeah, throw an extra shot in there for me, that's nothing. I can drink 5 of those in a day. You wouldn't believe how much caffeine I take, haha. Yeah, that's not cool or anything, Karen, you have a legitimate problem. Bragging about not reading. Bro, people do that. Unfortunately, yes. I've got one acquaintance who is very proud of never having ever read a book outside of school. When people post their weed on Snapchat. This kid in my English class will not stop doing this, then asking me if I saw it later. Buddy, I don't care. Yes, I also smoke. And I don't care. Cheaters, the more the cooler. Never admitting when you're wrong. It may seem like a confidence power play. However, most people just don't care enough about you to say anything or indicate that they noticed. They'll just slowly drift away from you till one day you're all alone wondering why no one with any level of competence wants to hang out / work with you. When babies get excited about walking. Real fkin cool, baby. I can walk too. Yeah. Smug little ps. Please stop blasting your music in places where people cannot escape it. I see your earbuds in your pocket. Please. Salvation. Or having a phone call with your speaker on so everyone has to hear your conversation. Walking around on speakerphone at the grocery store while holding it in their hand. Put it up to your ear. You are already occupying that hand. The hands-free option doesn't have a positive effect in this scenario. Edit. Effect vs effect. People listening to their voice messages with many people around. I unironically like wearing fingerless gloves. For actual tasks, not just out and about. When people ask me why I wear them, I tell them it's because I'm so cool. I'm not exactly certain how uncool they make me, but I know it's a lot. I like the fingerless gloves with finger flaps. Straight up fingerless means my fingertips die a little, but I still want to be able to do finger activities inside without taking my gloves off. Finger activities. Elitism. It's stupid to attack someone who enjoys a hobby only just because doesn't put his life on it. Oh, you hate elitism? Name 3 elitists. Only 3. What are you, a poser? Filthy casual. Everyone knows the best poses are duck face and chin tuck. One-upping and putting other people down to make yourself look good. Rife in white-collar jobs. I despise people who do it. God, that's my oldest brother. I love him to death, but that guy won't let you get happy about anything you have. Most recent thing that he did. My husband and I took our kids to Croatia to visit family. We stayed for 2 months. My husband and kids have gone more often, but the last time I took a real vacation and went there was in 2009. Of course I was ecstatic and started sending pictures to the family chat since we landed in Madrid for a layover. Everybody was happy and commenting on the pictures. Everybody but my brother. His comments were only about when he and his wife went, or posting his own pictures, which we all saw, we all talked about, and that it happened like 5 years ago. I hate people like that, man. Having a phone conversation on a loudspeaker in public, or blasting music from a cheap oversaturated BT speaker on public transport. We get it. Negative attention is also attention, but taking over a public space with your edginess is just being an ps. My parents have recently discovered speakerphone and refuse to believe there is such a thing as speakerphone etiquette. I'll be talking to them and all of a sudden I'll hear, So do we know what we want to order? And I realize they've been holding this entire conversation on speakerphone in a restaurant, surrounded by people trying to enjoy their dinner. Oh, and I have thought that my parents are the only one. The absolutely worst case they had done it was when there were a family's friends staying at their place. Parents called me and haven't mentioned anything about being on speaker. They told me about having a last night full of drinking and some stuff. So I asked whether it was okay because one of their guests is quite aggressive and unpleasant when she drinks. And yeah, she was sitting next to them. They went like, but hun, she is sitting next to us. You are being rude. Am I being rude? You are the ones that brings personal talks to the table. I still felt ashamed even though what I said was true. Don't. I have so much sympathy for you here. It's unreal how many people bring their phone conversations out in places that it's not appropriate. At the register, drive-through, dinner table, etc. The third party in your story probably needs to hear about her behavior. Mean drunks often don't realize how they appear. You are totally in the right. Edit. Grammar. Not appropriate. At the register. Back in my restaurant days I worked at a short order pizza joint. If you have a nice line of people, I find the most effective way to get through to most of these people is to look right at the person on the phone. Don't say a word. Then look right at the person behind them in line and ask what they'd like to order. If the phone person complains, you just say, "I'm sorry, I thought you were on the phone and I didn't want to interrupt you." It won't generally be taken as passive aggressive, even though it definitely is. My favorite line was, "I'm so sorry, I didn't want to be so rude as to interrupt your phone call." One of the best parts of being in management was telling my employees to do the same. When a customer complained about I'd give micro a free meal card for following procedure in the face of adversity in front of the customer. The perks of not giving ups. Being an ps while hiding. Being the "it's just a joke. Stop taking it seriously. Why can't you take a joke" statements. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Though everyone talking about their viral experiences, but I'm just here saying this because of some mingy prick on the internet who decided to follow me around the internet with his friends. When people play their music loud at the gas pumps. I recently saw a woman leave her toddler in the car with a crappy music blasting to the point that it was uncomfortable and unpleasant for everyone else pumping gas while she went into the store. Felt bad for that child. My ex did this with our kids. I had to sit her down and explain what was inappropriate about it. She seems to honestly not know it looked more white trash than cool. She's trashy. Edit. Changed white trash to trashy. My ex's skin color is irrelevant. I'm baffled as to how anyone would think they look cool doing that in the first place. Literally nobody would look over and be like, "Wow, that person is cool," unless they're being sarcastic. Okay, but this one time I was playing a Grateful Dead song at the pump and this dude who was outside working said, "Nice. Nice." I've been into the import tuna scene for close to 20 years at this point. Now this was more a style of the time, say 15 years ago. Backwards upside down visor hats. WTF. Why was that a thing? It'd make more sense to walk around with an onion tied to your belt. They think so fast their brain needs a spoiler. Gotta spoil that lamb in a flow somehow. Anyone else scrolling through the comments to see if they do any of the things people put down? Kids bragging about their parents' wealth and success. There was a guy my best friend dated in high school who had very wealthy lawyers as parents, and he scoffed at me and my friends for having part-time, minimum wage jobs. He said verbatim, "Nothing is worth doing if it pays less than $50 an hour. That's what my parents make," and that was the moment I realized there really are people that are that out of touch from reality. Edit. Man, this was like 8 years ago, and many are debating about lawyers and how much they make an hour. All I know is this kid thought his time was worth 50/hours at the age of 16 with no experience and said his parents made that much. I deck what they actually made, and 50/hours is a lot for me/my friends because we all come from low income, working class families. His parents were extremely wealthy and probably made way over 50/hours. I just remember that's what the kid said to us. Hating all genres of music except the one they like. I learned this the hard way by only liking heavy metal and on all other music without giving a chance as a teen. Metal's still my favorite, but all genres have good music. Honestly, I've seen far more elitism in the metal community than any other music genre I've been involved in. It's a shame, because metalheads are usually some of the most chilled, open-minded people you could find until you start talking about music. I have been guilty of this in the past. As have I. It took a while to branch out, but I'm all ears now. I still see some people who are extremely elitist with metal, and I'm so glad I got out of that phase as a teen. As an adult, you just look like the biggest tool lol. Yep. As a teen in the 80s weeps all over Poser Metal, Poison, Skid Row, New Crew, and the like. If it wasn't Anthrax, Slayer, or Metal Church type music, it was for wusses. Haha, I laugh at us now as we wax nostalgic over the Poser stuff. Dude, I used to hate Metallica because they weren't as technical as the no-name 2-album deathcore bands I loved in high school. I've grown out of that. I've heard people pss on bands like Meshuggah and Gojira for being too mainstream and not technical enough, so there's that. If all they're judging by is technical, then they may as well just go ahead and start appreciating classical. People who say things like I'm just an ps. No. You lack the emotional maturity to deal with others and use nastiness as a defense. It's not cool as a tray. Try be nice. Edit, thank you for the gold and silver. AHHES, or I'm ups, deal with it. Being ps without a reason. I really hate that this is me. From a young age I've always been an ps to pretty much all of my friends, and now as I'm getting older I'm realizing how much of an ps I am, and I really hate it, and a lot of the time I really try to stop, but it's become so much of a habit that it's really hard. I know that it could be adolescence, and I've always struggled with dealing with my emotions. I compress them a lot and let them all out at once and become a complete mess. Especially anger, because I lash out at things almost instantaneously. I really hate it, and I'm aware of it. It's just really hard to stop. Edit. Thank you everyone so much for all the support. His sounds so cringy, but thank you so much, it has genuinely made me feel quite happy. Being self-aware is the first step to self-improvement. You're on the right path. What's the next step? 1. Realizing it. 2. Noticing it happening while it's happening. 3. Realizing what's happening right before it happens, or what makes you do it. 4. Make effort to prevent scenarios that make you do it. Short term. 5. Be able to realize a scenario is about to happen / is happening, and make what type of response you want to make, or even attempt to make a response, so ideally you wouldn't even believe it coming out of your mouth. 6. Repeat step 5 until it's second nature / just who you are now. Help me stop being constantly negative all the time. But now I think I'm too optimistic, so, you know. This is the answer, everybody. Much of what we think of as characteristics or traits are, in fact, habits. The longer the habit has been solidified, the harder it is to break. Obviously. But changing your habits requires only what is already in each of us already. Full stop. It's simple, but it ain't easy. And it's worth it. I'm not sure if this is just an Australian thing, but people who rev their cars / motorbikes really loud, and it's usually quite late at night while most people are trying to sleep. Guess it's a thing worldwide. Yeah, racialism isn't country specific. Judging random people and making fun of the less fortune. No, you're not cool. You're a douche. I'm on a bus full of idiots, and most of the conversations I hear anymore is how people will try to get into a relationship just for sex. The target usually being called horrible things, like ups. I also hear things such as people bragging about how bad they are, and how many felonies they have, and how much of a total psps they are. One thing I don't get is people bragging about how manipulative they are. Like, okay, good job, now I trust you even less. This makes me sad. Yesterday while waiting for the bus I overheard a group of 4 to 5 kids hanging out. Looked like maybe they all knew this one kid and not each other. They were all being awkward and not talking, just looking at their phones. Then this other kid looked up and kinda shyly asked, "Wanna see an awesome trampoline trick I did?" and shows this video on his phone. They all start freaking out, asking him questions, comparing trampoline strategies. And it was just so wholesome to see some teenagers geeking out over a trampoline. It's on things other people like. We all have stuff we don't like, but if you spend all your time putting down everything a person is interested in, you don't look cool or edgy. You look like ups with no interests. It's on things other people like, and often it's preceded by the question, am I the only person? As though the dislike makes them special. Am I the only person with this common opinion? Unpopular opinion. Begin saying a popular opinion. This will probably get a lot of downvotes, but begin saying a popular opinion. Edit. Those of you saying actual unpopular opinions don't get upvoted on wrong. But the issue I'm highlighting is when someone says something like unpopular opinion. Cats are cute. It's clearly not an unpopular opinion. So why is it phrased as such? Unpopular opinion that will probably get me downvoted. Does anyone else not like it when puppies get locked in hot cars? What are your thoughts on this askreddit? My country recently made it illegal to kill cats. What do you guys think about rules like this? Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Edit. Wow, platinum, that's crazy. Haha, calm down Reddit, I don't deserve this, haha. Edit. Okay guys, I've been answering questions for 3 hours, so I think I'm going to call this Amma here. Thanks for coming. I'll be back annually. Edit. My wife's boyfriend bought me a Switch because he couldn't afford Reddit Gold. Wow, crazy. Edit. Some of you are being very intolerant of my wife having a boyfriend. She gets lonely during the day because of how much overtime I work at my gamma dev startup. You captured so many things in this comment. I'm impressed.